What's up guys, Matt back again with another unboxing video, and today we're going to be reviewing the GxMateria Android 16. Before we dive into the video, please remember to subscribe and hit the bell, like the video, comment your thoughts down below for us to discuss, follow me on my socials, and consider becoming a YouTube member to enter into our monthly giveaways and Discord server so our community can help you on your Dragon Ball figure collecting journey. This figure is based on Android 16 from Dragon Ball Z. The figure itself is based on the moment Android 16 fires his rocket punch at Imperfect Cell during their battle. This is a GxMateria release, which are Banpresto crane figures of characters with key effects based on iconic moments of the anime and manga. If you're interested in buying this figure, then I recommend Bashwin Collectibles, my favorite place to buy Kuji and collectibles. Link to their page in the description. Don't forget to use my discount code Peaches24 on your first order to save 10%. This figure was released on April 6th, 2023. Android 16 stands at about 5 inches tall, weighs 11.4 ounces in box, weighs 7.6 ounces on his own, and Android 16 comes whole with his key effect, his arm, and a support. Finally, I am able to catch up to GxMateria. So I've been trying to do that with at least the current Banpresto line of figures, besides Ichiban Kuji, Banpresto Bandai line of figures to catch up. GxMateria is a fan favorite, so I wanted to catch up on those. I love Varrook's work for the most part, and I wanted to see, you know, what he had to offer with one of the latest releases from just about a year ago, Android 16. Funny story is that this one I ordered like 2 months ago, and it got here, and then I got returned to the sender all the way back to Japan, and then it got sent back. So it took a while to get here, longer than I had hoped. 2 months is kind of ridiculous, but hey, it's here. I'm here to review him, and eventually he'll be a giveaway. So let's talk about Mr. Android 16 here. As a character choice, phenomenal choice. That's the one thing that GxMateria is doing today that I think Bandai should spread out to quite a few of their different figure lines, is that, hey, you're starting to see some pretty cool and unique characters. Android 16, you know, he only appears in the Android and Cell arcs of Dragon Ball. Sure, he's shown up in like Dragon Ball Fighters and other things, but you don't really see Android 16 a whole lot throughout the series, and he's not really referenced a whole lot after the Android and Cell arcs. I mean, even when Android 17 comes back in Dragon Ball Super, like, nobody talks about Android 16, which is very interesting. But to see him in GxMateria before, like, Android 18 and Android 17 and Cell, that's pretty cool. And I like Android 16, you know, the birds, obviously with Team 4-Star. His character is a little funnier, but great choice. I'm going to give that an easy 5 out of 5. His likeness is fantastic, man. Like, Varrook just does not miss with their likeness, dude. Like, it's real good. Like, his eyes are just so well done. They have just like a piercing look to them, man. And of course, you get those details that you're used to seeing with these figures, with the lines above his eyes and under his eyes, but he goes the extra mile. Like, he adds some lines on his nose to show that it's scrunched up and he's really, like, you know, focused. He's got gritting teeth that he's highlighted in there. Just like, he looks so good. And, you know, you see his sculpted face that you're used to seeing for Android 16. So, man, Varrook is just so good at this. And I didn't know until fairly recently that Varrook makes Ichiban Kuji figures. He made the Vegeta from Super Decisive Battle. I think he's even making that entire Dragon History Ichiban Kuji set that's coming out in August. So Varrook is just a talented guy. I would love to see him do more Master Release figures and you know, talk about it. So this is an easy 5 out of 5 for the likeness. he does a fantastic job with that within GxMateria. Sculpt quality, pretty good. It's cool that this is a GxMateria that does not require a base. However, I will say his foot support is just kind of whack. It doesn't really provide a whole lot of support. It's not very firm. I believe it goes on his front foot. I try to put it on his back foot and it doesn't seem like it goes there. It's definitely for his front foot. And it's just kind of weird. It doesn't stick to his foot. It's just kind of like there. And I guess it helps to keep him balanced. I would say he balances better without it. Like right now, I just have him on my desk and he doesn't have his support. So he balances better without the support, in my opinion. But yeah, I guess that's a thing. But I will give kudos that, hey, it's finally a GxMateria figure with a support and no base. And that's just something that I love. His hair is something that stands out to me as well. Like Varrock went the extra mile in adding some extra detail along his hair. I will criticize this though. His rocket punch arm is very like loose on his actual arm. Like it feels very like frilly and willy-nilly. I feel like it can come off super easy. Not the arm itself. The arm itself is very firm on the key effect, but I guess it's the key effect itself that doesn't feel super firm whenever I put it on Android 16. So like I feel like as soon as I touch it, I can feel it like almost easily come off. So I wish that was just a little tighter. But you know, I still think it's a very solid sculpt. And with all of that in mind, I'm going to give the sculpt a 4 out of 5. Paint and shading, you know, unfortunately, as good as Varrock is, I guess he's just not allowed to, paint and shade this figure. Yeah, I just wish that he could do that because they just stand out so much with their colors and their likenesses. It would just really elevate the whole key effect a lot more. But, you know, Android 16 is very accurate. They did choose like very bright colors to use for him. The greens are very good. The orange of his hair pops. Even the key effect is very cool with the glitter and everything. I have no real complaints other than no shading on the figure, so that's going to be a 4 out of 5. And then finally, the size and scale is probably the most disappointing aspect of this figure. Much like other figures that I've talked about, like Android 16 is supposed to be a massive character. Like Android 18 is able to sit on the man's shoulders. So for him to be one of the smallest GxMateria figures is kind of disappointing, man. And I don't think this is Varrock's fault or anything. I think this is really just Bandai, like, telling him, like, how big these figures have to be. And however that works, I would love to understand how that works. Because he's smaller than the GxMateria Kaioken Goku. And I think he's smaller than my GxMateria Teen Gohan, the one doing the father-son Kamehameha. So that's just really disappointing. And for this character to be this small, it just really drags it down a lot. So unfortunately, for size and scale, I'm going to have to give him a 2 out of 5. Android 16 should be big. If you're going to do a figure of him, then try to figure out a special way to make it big. Otherwise, don't even bother. You know, that's just kind of my opinion. I love the representation, but you got to do it right. If you're going to do it, you got to do it right. So that's just a little disappointing in my opinion. Yeah, but with all this in mind, guys, I do like this figure, but I can't say that I'm not disappointed. I think there were just some elements of it, from the sculpt quality and his, obviously no shading is something that we're expecting with this. Even though he has no base or support, he is kind of finicky with the support. Does have some slight balancing issues, and of course he's just way too small, and that's just the biggest unfortunate part of this figure. So with all of this in mind, I'm going to walk away and give Android 16 a 3.5 out of 5. Guys, thanks again for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to support me even further, I do have merch now. You can go to my YouTube channel, go to the shop tab, or go to the shop tab down below from this video, pick up a shirt, hoodie, mug, sticker, tote bag, whatever you feel like picking up. And of course, if you do pick something up, post it up on social media, tag me. Maybe you're like, hey Matt, like, look, I got a tote bag. Of course, I can fit 1 million Android 16s in this tote bag because he's so small. Ha ha ha. and then I'll cry and you'll cry and we'll be sad about that together. But we'll be happy because you got merch. So if you do decide to get merch, please tag me in it on social media. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you in the next one. But until the next video, guys, I will see you all later.